We're unlimited. When we work together, there's no way we won't be strong. Unlimited. We're here for each other. We've got my back. I'm where I belong. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. Together. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. Together. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. Together. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. We're rolling, we're rolling. Together.
So I made notes about last session. It was just basically you made a deal with Lars Hayden to check out the Cannith Manufactury, this research and development wing.
We then spent an hour on a floor.
Yeah. In exchange for doing this, he's willing to lend you his airship for your use in the future. And you know there was an incident at this place over 4 years ago that resulted in the death of Lars's older sister, Kylan Hayton de Cannith. Amalgam helped you enter the place. Apparently he has the key or a mechanism to unlock the sealed door to the department built in to his systems. And he also helped you pass that floor that you spent an hour on. I don't know if it was an hour, but there was some time spent trying to figure out how to cross this trapped, multicolored floor in the lobby of the Research and Development Wing. And then once you got out of the lobby into the main halls, you ran into drone security because the whole department was left in a state of a Dungeon Alert Red because of the previous incident that happened. You found a locked door with a wheel puzzle that you haven't discovered how to unlock yet. And then you began to investigate a section of the Research and Development Department called the Manufactury. Manufactury. So named because all of the Warforged prototypes within it are based on creatures that hatch from eggs. Pants tried to make friends with an iron mallard, and he failed. Infinite sadness. And then Izzy lured Pigeon Forge and the Iron Eagle to come out of their cages and trust her with yarny bits. And you put little hats on them, right?
Yes.
Brighton and Aleran and Kit Kat decide to investigate some egg-shaped eldritch pods in a walled-off area of the Manufactury. Some of them look like they had already hatched, had already broken open. But you fiddled with two dormant units, you fiddled with the wiring, and you successfully hatched an egg. Only to have a steel raptor emerge out of it with a bit of an attitude. It immediately tried to spray Aleran in the face with poison and is very aggressive. And so it's now the 23rd of Olaroon, 998 YK, and you guys are in combat. I'm assuming that I left it in the proper order, and I think Pants, is it your turn?
According to the combat tracker, it's Zaleria's turn.
Oh, it's Zaleria's turn. Well, it's not going to be Zaleria's turn. I don't know if it's Zaleria's turn because it was Zaleria's turn. I forgot to look. Wait, let me look at something. Let me see if I actually wrote this in my notes like a really good DM. Because I feel like we only had time for the Raptor to try to get poison spray Aleran at the top of the combat, and then that's when we put the brakes on pause.
Yes, we didn't because we acknowledged it was going to be lengthy.
Yeah, that would take too long. And I think any active turns right now is just me maybe fiddling around with something in between the sessions.
Every time she says fiddle, I put a GIF in Discord just for that.
I guess I do that a lot because I did that in the Saltmarsh group too the other weekend. No. Okay, so I am zapping back up to. Well, I guess technically, yeah, it's Pants' turn.
Okay.
We could say it's the Cephalopod Defender's turn, but he's neutral. He's just chilling in his tank.
Has it become obvious to Pants, who is on the opposite side of the Manufactury, that some stuff is going down?
Roll perception.
Nope.
Yeah, because it's what, 50, a good 50 feet away? And with the 3 perception, Pants is pretty much fixated on that iron mallard, and why doesn't it love him?
60 feet to be exact.
So what are you going to do? You're just going to stand around and stalk the iron mallard, or what?
Basically, yeah, I'm just going to mope and attempt to befriend the Iron Mallard again.
Okay, roll an animal handling.
About as good as my perception. Okay. And that's my turn.
I feel so bad. I feel like maybe I had some really cunning plan for you to make friends with this iron mallard, but I've totally forgotten what that was. So the frog's being a frog, and the duck is just splashing. Izzy.
Do I have the map? I don't have the map. I don't.
You can click on
Where does it?
the upper right icon on the main page of your character sheet, and it'll open your last used map. But I can reshare it.
Awesome. Thanks. Okay, so I am also pretty much on the other side of the map.
Yeah. So roll perception to see if you notice what's going on.
I may be too involved in my birdies.
Yeah. Not quite. There is a dungeon alert red. There's the klaxon is still going off, and because the door just is broken and there's no seal even dimming that sound, it's kind of hard to pick out any kind of signs of combat or raptor growls from the other side of this chamber.
Who are pretty birdies? Look at you, pretty birdies. So that's pretty much all I just gonna play with my birds because I can't tell anything else is going on.
But Kit Kat, being where the action is, realizes the immediate threat that there is this raptor. And it didn't come out friendly, not like all the other creatures. All the other creatures in this manufactory seem to be placid, some of them rather friendly. But this raptor was born mad.
Better than being born flaccid.
Ooh! Kit Kat hits with her whip with a 19. Doing 4 slashing damage. And I think, or at least I hope, that I've corrected the problems we had last time with damage reduction on some things. I think I fixed it. Is there anything else that you want to do on your turn?
Kit Kat, I see you lighting up, but I don't have audio.
Yeah, she
out.
is having some headset issues.
Oh, I thought she was just being very quiet.
It may require a parent. Hold on. And that's not me.
Oh, I just saw the lovely violin and birdies in Discord chat.
They are pretty birdies.
Meanwhile, the Iron Eagle is being a pretty birdie. The pigeon is being a pretty birdie, and the iron scarrow is just digging its little heart out in the sand. Moving on to Aleran. Aleran definitely knows that there is a raptor.
All right. I guess I will attack it with Firebolt. And I'll miss.
Those raptors, they're pretty dodgy sneaky. So you have like the raptor, not only is it trying to like spit poison in your face, but it's bobbing and weaving.
One might say it's a clever girl.
It is a clever girl.
Oh.
Brighton also is very much aware that there is a raptor. Not a flesh and blood raptor like he's used to, a steel raptor.
All right. So so Brighton would obviously see the raptor, and you hear a series of clicks and screeches coming from him, which sound more animal-like than anything. So I would like to roll an animal handling check to see if I
Okay.
could somehow calm this thing down.
I'd say like you'd be at least like +2 on that because of your history and past ownership of a raptor of the flesh and blood variety.
Okay.
So you make it's a 24. So you make your clicks, these inhumanoid sounds, and as you call for the raptor's attention, it kind of shifts its attention away from Aleran and makes a little curious sound that you recognize. And it turns toward you and carefully moves a little bit closer. But it looks a little bit unsure of what to make of this.
So I do that classic Chris Pratt stance with arms out. I will move slowly towards the raptor.
Okay. And so the raptor is a little bit mesmerized right now. It seems to have kind of it's not paying attention to the fact that Laren's there anymore. And it's not really paying attention to Kit Kat.
Yay.
It's just kind of focused on Brighton. But you can't tell. There's a certain tension in the air, like at any second the raptor could be diverted again. But for right now, it's kind of staring warily at Brighton.
Staring contest.
Who's going to be the alpha raptor?
Okay, that is my turn.
Nissha.
She notices, but she doesn't do anything.
I'm not even going to try and befriend the poison arrow forged frog?
No.
So the puffin kind of gets out of the sand pit, the sandbox, and starts waddling, poking around the room, as puffins do. And it's the raptor's turn, and the raptor's still kind of looking about, staring at Brighton. It's not attacking again, and it's making the little chirp chirp sound, kind of inquisitive. What Brighton would recognize is kind of a form of greeting. Pants.
Okay. Well, now that the sounds of combat have stopped, there's really not much of a thing to notice.
Mm-hmm. And the duck's just swimming.
Well,
It
the
quacks.
duck... Clearly I have been friend-zoned by the duck. So, I will instead approach the cephalopod defender and attempt to put it on my head like a hat.
There's not much it can do about that. But roll an animal handling all the same. So
So
It's
sad.
better.
the cephalopod, being happy, cozy, just kind of wiggling its tentacles about in its alchemical fluid in its aquarium, is suddenly unceremoniously picked up out of its cozy aquarium and placed on a strange, hard, metallic surface, and it's quite startled.
I mean, the hats thing seemed to work for Izzy.
I
So-
gave them hats. I didn't use them as hats.
When it's startled, it releases a sudden ink cloud
Oh,
that causes this 10-foot radius of inky darkness surrounding it.
But it's not underwater. I just got ink peed on.
Yeah. Yeah, this ink cloud is kind of like a gaseous kind of ink. So yeah, 10 feet. So Izzy, you and your birds are now in darkness as well.
You're
It's
welcome.
like somebody turned out the lights where you guys are. And you can hear the duck quacking from the other side of the room.
It's laughing at you.
And it's Izzy's turn.
where the birds were on me, yes?
Yeah, they're
Or-
on you. They're like sitting on
Okay,
your shoulders.
I am
But
going
did they
to,
panic?
cooing at my birds, I'm going to move out of the gas cloud of inky darkness, if I can, without bumping into anything.
Well, disoriented, you step forward because it's darkness, so you can't really see what happened. And you didn't necessarily see what Pants was doing that precipitated this sudden darkness. But stepping forward, it clears, and you can see that the room is as the room was before, and you turn around and look, and it's just like this cloud of really dense, soupy mess. And you can see it just kind of forms this like this round wall as the area that it's covering.
What did you do, Pants?
I was just trying to make friends with the octopus.
I think you didn't do it right.
Apparently not. Suddenly it's dark.
I just keep imagining the fact that it's just like, aw, you guys made me eat. Over and over and over again in my head.
Well, I really can't do much about that. Hopefully it'll dissipate soon. Maybe put it back.
Let's put the squid, the startled squid, into the aquarium that he can no longer see. Surely that will not go badly.
Well, it could it go worse than putting it on your head?
Does Pants have sense memory?
I think he has like a fish memory. What are we talking about?
What's like, how well does he remember where the aquarium was that he was standing next to that he just picked something out of?
I think he's more or less just going to let the octopus become unstartled and then write it out. Maybe the octopus will become acclimated by exposure.
Yeah, once it has a chance to chill out. Kit Kat.
Hey! It's my turn. Hey!
So, Kit
You
Kat.
Why did I hit myself? What? No!
Kit Kat flicks her whip again at the raptor, who is completely distracted by Brighton.
I might want to say one thing. She had her headset off for that whole thing.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true.
So, Tessa, Brighton has kind of tamed a little bit the raptor.
Whoopsies, take that back.
Yeah, she didn't have her headset on. I just realized that.
Half of it I wasn't listening for because we were testing my mic. Sorry.
So, what are you going to do?
The raptors is controlled.
There's kind of like this kind of
Kinda
tense
take
moment
a
of
step back. Just don't look at me. Kind of like moves backwards in like the same direction.
like back
but, like,
off.
Still, yeah.
If Brighton wants to have the steering contest with the Steel Raptor, he
Be
can
my
just...
guest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that whip thing was an accident.
It didn't roll in the box. But that was a good enough roll to... the Iron Eagle is chill. It did not get startled by the sudden darkness. It's seen things. It doesn't care about darkness. The pigeon... The pigeon, however, suddenly having the room go dark when once it was light, gets flustered, and it lifts off from your shoulder, Izzy, and starts flying around the room. And it's gone a little bit neutral again. Pigeon's just flapping around. And actually it manages to fly back into the darkness. Aleran.
Okay. Seeing that Brighton is making headway, I am going to back up and I am going to hold my action.
Okay. And I'm going to assume you either disengage or you're holding your action, so you didn't technically disengage. But Well, let's see.
Mm,
I'm gonna roll a.
but is it still an active encounter? I guess is the question.
It is still an active encounter.
Okay.
Because it's kind of be like the because the raptor is so aggressive to begin with. It's like it doesn't instantly become friends. It's kind of a process of taming. So I'm going to roll like a perception on the raptor, and it's going to be a low check just to see if you moving away without like doing a disengage draws the raptor's attention.
Okay.
And it doesn't notice you. So Brighton.
Okay, so I think I need to, knowing that just from experience that this thing is still not 100% sure about what's going on. I think I might need to do the happy dance for the.
What's the happy dance?
I have no clue, but
You
I would do
know,
it.
the happy dance.
I put it in Discord. Brighton's raptor taming.
I was like looking at the one about catching the pigeon.
Oh no, right below Clever Girl with Chris Pratt.
Oh, I see. So hands on the hips and a lot of rotation.
I suppose that would be a happy dance.
Do another animal handling check again with the +2. And a 12 will be good enough. Okay.
No.
So the raptor is not pleased by your happy dance. And up until now, he was holding his reaction. He tries to snap at you.
That's fair.
But he misses. It was just a warning snap. Like he doesn't totally mistrust you. He's got his eyes on you though, you know, because your movements are a little bit off. Like he can tell that you're not, you know, you seem like a raptor, but there's something a little bit off.
Okay, back to staring contest.
Yeah, back to the staring contest. Nissha.
If I even notice, I will hold off on making any sudden movements.
You're probably
and
more likely
just
to
stay
notice
over
that there's
here in my corner.
There's this big cloud of darkness that has poofed up into the room about 15 feet away from you. And you also see that there's like a little puffin forged creature just kind of walking around in front of you. It looks up, it coos.
I have a great deal of disinterest in any of these creatures.
So cold.
The raptor is going to continue staring and holding its action. Pants! You're in a dark cloud. You've got a cephalopod defender on your head. It's kind of clinging for dear life now.
Well, even
It's
as
hugging.
even as dull as Pants is, he's pretty convinced that the ink cloud is 100% related to being applied to his head. As such, he will gingerly and gently attempt to pet and stroke and calm the octopus that is attached to his skull.
How does a Warforged pet anything? Is it like a pat, pat, pat?
If a Warforged pet's a Warforged, does that mean their little like gears and stuff get like stuck together?
No, I don't think the gears get stuck together.
With an octopus
But
on
like,
your head.
if he pets like the armored parts, you'll just hear this little clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah, it'll be gentle patting motions as he's attempting to find and locate said octopus, and then once the location has been found, gentle strokes to attempt to
Roll
bring
animal
peace
handling.
Because yeah, these have been great so far.
This is your skill set. And you're not successful, and you feel the live wood tentacles kind of flopping around, and one of them kind of smacks you in the face.
This is very on brand.
You can feel the cephalopod defender kind of hugging. It is literally hugging your head right now, but maybe a little bit too tightly.
Wait, did I just discover the first face hugger?
It might be
And
good. It might be
silence
bad.
reigns.
I shall neither confirm nor deny. You hear some more iron mallard quacking, some splashes. Izzy.
I'm gonna call for the birds. Call here, pretty, here, pretty.
Well, the Iron Eagle's happy.
Yes, he is.
He's
handsome.
chilling. He's sitting on your shoulder. He preens a little bit. Do an animal handling though to see if you can lure the pigeon forge, who is kind of flapping around in the darkness.
That would be a no.
And it's still stressed out, and you hear the wings. You hear some kind of frantic cooing, but it doesn't come out of the darkness
Is
toward
that
you.
a frantic coo or frantic scream?
I'm not quite sure. The cooing is the only sound I like. The little kind of pigeon sound is the only sound I know. So I don't know what frantic pigeons, what sounds they make. I
am currently looking up what frantic pigeons sound like.
I think they just flap their wings and get out of there. Kit Kat, it is your turn.
I just looked up 4K pigeon noises. Don't mind me. So is the raptor now attacking?
No, they're kind of like in a holding pattern.
Okay. Just gonna rotate around to get out of the room. Close enough to the other side. Slowly. Should I do bardic inspiration?
You
Brighton?
could. I think that would help his rolls.
Brighton.
Works on any attack, save, or skill check, or ability check.
You got this, Brighton. Good job. I'm just gonna be leaving the group.
And that's a D6, right?
Yes. Wait. Yes. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So you can add it to a D6 to the ability check of your choice.
Okay.
Okay, and Aleran.
I'm going to continue watching. I don't think there's anything for me to really do other than be here in case it goes bad.
Okay, Brighton.
I am once again attempting another dance, which I have posted in chat.
That's me!
That looks like a turkey dance.
That's an ostrich.
Yeah,
is that, an ostrich?
Happier dance.
Yeah, it's still a bird. Okay, so do I just roll? How do I roll?
Do a +2, and then you can make your roll, and then on top of that, you can add the bardic inspiration if you need to.
Okay, and then just roll an additional D6 after. Okay. Okay.
And I think it's so you have a 10 now.
Oh shoot! I did not add the +2. Yeah.
So you can roll a D6 to see if you pop that up. And that is just enough. 12 is just enough to not incur an attack from the raptor. So you're up to 2 successes and 1 failure. So this dance has intrigued the raptor. And it's tilting its head and clicking. And you see it kind of bob its head a little bit, like it's almost like it's thinking about imitating you. But it's not quite going that far yet.
Got it.
It's not quite as willing to put itself out there like that.
And
it's been burned on Raptor Tinder in the past.
And the animal handling DC is going down by 1 more. And if you have another success, you will tame this raptor.
Okay, I pass turn.
Nissha.
I'm doing nothing.
The puffin wanders around and manages to step into the darkness, and you hear this little whoop kind of sound of surprise. And a few seconds pass, and then the puffin forge steps out again and makes another little woo kind of sound. The raptor is holding its action. The cephalopod defender is holding on. So Pants!
Wait, what did the cephalopod defender do on its turn?
It's just it's holding on to your head quite tightly.
Okay, but it did not take any hostile action.
No.
Okay.
No, like it's not inherently aggressive. That's why the raptor's a little bit different, is it's just a naturally aggressive creature.
Okay, I will again attempt to soothe the cephalopod defender. And again, I will fail to soothe the cephalopod defender.
So all things remain the same. It's just like, squeezing onto your head. There's still a dark cloud.
I have no tasty bacon. I have nothing that would be of interest. Oh wait, I have a moldy sandwich. Pants will attempt to offer the moldy sandwich up as tribute to the cephalopod defender.
Yeah, the cephalopod defender is totally not interested in a moldy sandwich.
Ah, darn. Hey then.
Izzy.
I'm gonna try and coax the little pigeon, or any of the kind of going around the little blackness and calling, "Hey, pretty birdie."
You're welcome.
Okay, roll in animal handling.
Would have worked if I actually did it right. Hold on.
Oh yeah. So the pigeon hears your voice, and it recognizes it, and it follows the sound of your voice and manages to fly out of the darkness, and it lands on your shoulder again.
And I tell it what a good little birdie it is.
And it preens.
Good little birdie. That's all I can picture it saying.
The pigeon's just bobbing its head. It knows it's a good birdie. Kit Kats.
It's my turn. Just gonna come over here.
Are you gonna bardically inspire Brighton again? He used the roll.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes. Brighton, I believe in you.
So one more D6 as insurance.
Judye.
The Iron Eagle continues to be a good birdie. The pigeon continues to be a good birdie. Aleran. Does Aleran continue to be a good birdie?
Yes, I'm going to continue to hold my action.
Okay. Oops. We double forwarded the turn. Brighton.
All right, more fancy movements and clicking and stuff.
All right, so add your +2 and do your animal handling. Do your bardic inspiration. Yay! You only needed a 2. So with a total of 13, you have managed to charm this raptor. And it's no longer hostile, and you guys are no longer in initiative. Ta-da! And like a minute passes, or a little bit less than a minute passes, and the ink cloud in the air dissipates. And everybody can see Pants again, and he has the cephalopod defender sitting on his head, looking kind of wide-eyed and spooked.
Hi guys,
Oh, jeez, man.
I made a friend.
And the raptor has started mirroring Brighton's dance. And as it decides that Brighton is okay, you see the people nearby can see that it's kind of circling Brighton, but it's not in this kind of like hostile, I'm hunting you kind of way. It's more like it's playful.
Monkey see, monkey do.
So, Brighton, you have a steel raptor following you now.
Attack dog.
Now what are you guys going to do?
Has the other unhatched egg done anything else while we were kind of dealing with the live raptor?
Nope.
That one was dead, right?
Right.
It was never alive.
Yeah, that one got aborted.
Or it didn't complete construction, I guess, before it lost power.
Well, we can wander and maybe take a look at the other tanks, although maybe Pants, you might want to put the squid down gently.
Pants, yeah, you can see the aquarium that you picked the cephalopod out of.
No, he's staying on my head.
You
this
do
is
notice
my new
that
hat,
there is
and I shall love him.
There's, as you say this, a tentacle goes over your eyes, and you're in blackness again.
Kind of reach up with a finger and like bleep, pull it down just a little bit, so I can see.
Just a little slit in the blindfold.
Just a little bit.
I think Aleran goes over and kind of puts arm around Pants and explains to him that walking around a dungeon with the opportunity to go into full blindness and darkness at any given time when this thing might get a little offended or upset, probably not such a great idea.
He computes this for a moment and goes, but it's an octopus on my head.
The octopus on your head could suddenly really not like you and ink again.
It represents a real risk to the whole party, Pants. Come on, you can leave it here. We can come back when we're done.
Fine. He will begrudgingly attempt to extract the cephalopod defender from his head and put it back in the tank.
But Pants, look at the little puffin, and both your name and the puffin begin with a P. Look at him, and he cute.
He does have tentacles.
And the puff is just kind of like wandering around, making little noises. The puffin like walks up to Bambershoot and makes an inquisitive sound, and then Bambershoot kind of makes a little inquisitive elk sound. And the puffin just kind of like hops up on Bambershoot's back and starts riding him.
So Bambershoot has a better animal handling skill than Pants.
Yes, basically. That is what is happening. Either that or like the puffin is just really easy. You've interacted with these animals. You've made friends with some of them. Others have been unimpressed. You can still hear the klaxon going off down the hallway deeper into the research and development department. What are you going to do?
Other than the tanks, is there any other, I guess, items in here that might be useful, tools or anything like that?
You can see there's kind of like a very large kind of drain in the base of the floor, probably to take care of anytime like the ducks or the puffins or the flamingo forged splash the alchemical solution onto the floor. It's probably for cleanup. But otherwise, other than these creatures, you don't see anything else in this area.
All right. I think we probably ought to get moving and explore more.
You can still hear the duck quacking and splashing. It's almost like it's taunting Pants now.
Oh, I've given up on the duck. I'm 100% team squid right now.
And Pants, as you kind of walk away, you notice like the live wood tentacles of the squid are kind of they can extend up out of the aquarium when they want to. And you see like that the cephalopod starts to kind of climb, and its little live wood tentacles are kind of unusual. They're not purely like an octopus. And you've seen octopus because you like walked across the ocean floor.
Right.
So you know how real life octopi are. But the cephalopod, his tentacles are kind of strange because the very tip ends of them, sometimes they seem to disassemble and kind of whirl into smaller tentacles. Almost like fingers at the very tips. And then they'll twist up again back into a tentacle-like shape. And he uses these and he starts to kind of suction and climb his way up the side of the aquarium. And he's hanging on the side.
I give him a small wave. I'll be back. I promise.
And then after a while, he kind of like climbs back. He's capable of like leaving of his own accord when he wants to, but he kind of likes it in that aquarium. And as you
I'm
make
just
your
picturing
way,
Pants is gonna come back and just pick up the aquarium and carry it with the octopus in it. Just like, he likes it in here.
Well, we've already had a half-orc carrying around a dishwasher, so yes, I totally would tote around an aquarium.
that was a totally different campaign though.
I know.
So you're moving back into the main hall, and the birds are riding your shoulders still, Izzy. And Brighton, the raptors following you. And Zaleria is kind of hanging back a little bit because she has to kind of shove and work the elk back out through the doorway. Bambershoot seems to have gotten his rump stuck a little bit.
He got his tush stuck.
Yep.
Wait, so you mean Bambershoot is what one might call now a rump shaker?
Mm-hmm. So Zaleria is doing some animal handling of her own as you guys kind of walk off, and she'll catch up when she manages to get that booty out of the doorway. Okay, so you're back in the hallway. So you see that the hallway it extends north beyond you, and then there was that passageway.
No, I don't see.
Well, there was a passageway to the left that it was like a little hallway that had the wheel puzzles, and then just north off of the hallway there was that second scrying station where Aleran found like those night vision goggles and some other stuff. And then continuing north beyond that, when you pass that outlet to where the wheel puzzle was and the locked door on your left, the hallway reaches a point where it splits, and you see it continues to the north, and there's some doors off of it, but it also branches off to the right. And
I think our plan was to proceed north. We came down south just to check this area out because it was already open, but I think our plan had been to go north to that new area.
Yeah, that was my understanding that we were going to head north.
Works for us.
So you reach, there's a closed doorway on your left, and there's a plaque beside it that reads Patents and Incident Reporting.
We were curious about incidents, weren't we?
We were.
If you try to open the door, it's not locked. In fact, you find that it wasn't actually completely closed, that this door seemed to be slightly open.
The door is ajar.
Opening it all the way, when you enter this room, you can see papers and books are strewn over the floor and the desk. There are 2 chairs in front of the desk, one behind it, but that chair is turned facing away, so you just see the back. And then beyond the desk and chairs, you see a set of filing cabinets. 3 of the doors are closed. One of them looks to be partially open. And then extending beyond the back of the desk, you see a pair of feet. Where
Oh yeah, there's not a dead dude in the chair.
well, it looks like the feet are stretched out on the floor, like there's a body lying behind the desk, extending beyond. So all you can make out are the feet, and the rest of it is blocked by the desk and the chair.
All right. I'm going to cast Mage Hand and have the hand slowly turn the chair around so that we can see what's in the chair.
As the seat of the chair comes into view, you find another steel raptor sitting in the chair.
Whoa!
Its iron teeth of its open mouth making for almost a razor-like smile. And then the raptor, seeing you, jumps up on the desk. Okay, roll initiative. And let me see if I can come up with a makeshift map for just the room.
Ooh.
Of course, I can roll 15 when it doesn't
Jeez.
matter.
Woot.
Wait, we got a 3, a 3, a 1, and a 3.
And a
Out of the-
20.
Wow.
I'm too busy with my birds.
I think Brighton probably should try to talk to this thing and see if we can avoid combat.
Also, I got to do my thing.
You gotta be the
Is that-
dinosaur whisperer.
Brighton, is Brighton gonna charm every single raptor he comes across?
Sure, why not? I need at least 3. I shall name the first one Blue.
I'd be disappointed otherwise.
Okay, almost there. Well, I'm almost there in terms of having a map. I gotta get you guys on it. You guys.
That's a dead body.
It's a dead body.
Clean up an aisle this room.
Adjust yourselves accordingly. And Brighton, you should be able, if you click on the raptor that is friendly to you, you should be able to see what that raptor can do. I'll put Izzy and your birds out in the hallway. Oh wait, I don't have Brighton. Oh, so you're calling the first, you're calling the raptor you charmed Blue?
He's checking laundry.
I shall
But that is a confirmed yes because he said it earlier.
change the name. Okay, so can everybody see things?
Yes, it looks quite nice.
Yes.
So that's what it would have looked like if you could have seen it on the full map, only there was other things. Blue actually is highest in initiative order. Is Brighton still doing laundry?
Yes.
Then we will skip. He'll have control of Blue when he comes back. So we'll move on to Kit
He
Kat.
says he's coming back now.
Okay. I will use this time to.
All right, I have returned. Sorry.
So you should be able to open up Blue on. If you click on its icon, and it is their turn.
Yeah, it's not letting me click on him.
Let me do it. Because that might have been long ago and far away.
Oh.
Try again.
Yep, I got it. It's next to me. Okay, so I think what I would like to do is see. I'll make some clicks at Blue that would kind of indicate, go try to reason with this route.
So you can move Blue like no trouble. It can easily circle around this hostile raptor.
All right, I think there's good.
And is there anything else you want to do with Blue? While it's...
Not right now. I just want to kind of see what the reaction of the other.
Okay. So Kit Kat, it's your turn.
Yay. Okay. So, I I really can't do anything. I don't think. Because Blue's going at the other raptor. We're all just watching like this is Raptor Fight Club, so. Yeah, I hold my turn. I think I have like my whip kind of like ready in case I need to go bad raptor.
Damn.
Oh, my baby boy.
Poor Blue. Do I still have audio? Am I DC'd?
You do have audio.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
You have not DC'd.
All right. Goody goody. So, Blue has been attacked. I don't really think I have a whole lot I can do, but I do notice that there's a very dead body on the other side of the room. So I'm going to go and tiptoe around over that way. Just carry around the edge of the room. And,
And it's an entire, you
Yeah.
see, there's an entire dead body. It's not just feet.
mostly intact, not like mauled or eaten or anything.
You do not actually see any signs of an animal attack.
Okay. And that's my turn.
My previous rage has ended, correct?
Yes.
How do I remove it?
Oh. It is the Iron Eagle's turn. It's back in the hallway, sitting on Izzy's shoulder. The alarm, the klaxon of the Dungeon Alert Red is still blaring.
He's not concerned by it.
Apparently, it's been sounding a long time, and that manufactory door had been shattered. So this has become a normal sound to the animals, or to the
Yeah,
to the
silence would
forged
sound
creatures. Mm-hmm. So it'll just sit there unless you order it to do something.
No, I think it's just sitting there is just fine. There's no reason for it to go and get itself injured.
Okay. And the pigeon is there too.
They're not going to take independent action unless I told them to do something.
Yeah. They'll just park it. So, Nissha.
I'm going to hold my action.
So, Brighton, it's your turn.
All right. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to raid. And then I am going to advance next to, and then make some sounds as if I'm angry with the other steel. I'm exerting my dominance.
Okay. You can do an animal handling check with the +2.
Okay.
It'll be a DC 13. Ooh, natty 20.
Woohoo.
So,
Nice.
the angry raptor freezes in its tracks from where it was trying to bite and claw at Blue. It stops what it's doing and it turns to you and it starts doing that kind of same inquisitive bobbing that Blue was doing earlier as you were slowly gaining its trust. But because you rolled a nat 20, it counts as like 2 levels of success with this creature. So it moves forward and it's doing that stare, and it looks almost like it's a bit abashed to get these sounds of disapproval. But it also looks still looks a little bit guarded.
Sure. Yeah, that's understandable. Okay. I'm gonna.
Poor Raptor, first encounter with people in 4 years, and it's you telling it off.
Wow, that just sounds like something they would call PETA for.
That's like every day with my cat.
Okay.
Izzy.
So I'm out in the hallway, so I'm gonna sort of step into the room just so that I can see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all I can do. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be playing with raptors.
But you are. You have an eagle on your shoulder.
Yes. It's a little raptor.
America!
And is the door to the hallway, are you going to leave that open?
Well, I'll check the door to see if like it's locked from either the outside, so that if I shut it, it would lock before I wouldn't shut it all the way. No.
Yeah, you can open and close it from either direction. There's not a lock mechanism on this door like there was on the one that you haven't gotten through yet, or like in the lobby. Or even on the Manufactury, there was kind of like a push key punch thing, but because the glass was broken, you didn't have to bypass it. But this door doesn't have any kind of locking mechanism that you can tell.
I'm going to say no, only because the raptor isn't completely happy, and I don't want to lock myself into a room with an unhappy raptor.
Okay.
An hungry ass.
Just saying.
All right. Aleran.
I think I'm gonna hold my action as well. I still think we give Brighton an opportunity to get this thing under control.
All right, it is Blue's turn.
So, Blue is going to turn to Brighton and start doing that bobbing, weaving, saying, "No, he's good. He's okay. He's my friend." And that will be Blue's turn.
Okay. Kit Kat.
Okay. Can I move here?
Yes.
Okay. Did Pants look at these papers on the desk?
No, he
No, I
just stepped
just-
around the desk.
Okay, can I look at these papers quickly?
There's various books and papers.
Because my eyes just immediately went to like the circles and the cross outs.
I'm going to put something in inventory.
For me?
You find on top of the desk there is a memo and a hastily scribbled note.
Annoyed memo. Oh.
So the memo says it was addressed. Oh, and I forgot to mention that you see like on the desk there is like one of those like a little wooden plaque that's like engraved with a name, and it says Lauren de Cannith, head of humanoid and forged resources. And this memo was addressed to her, and it just basically says, "I don't care who his uncle is. Transfer Toby. The man's an imbecile. How can he possibly keep forgetting
Come on, Toby.
the
Damn it,
combination
Toby.
to the Shadow Forge door? It is the same symbol on each wheel. If we can't get rid of him, reassign him somewhere more suited to his talents by next week. Maybe he could give Splash a holiday from feeding the steel raptors." And it's signed Kyle Ann.
Dang it, Toby.
Toby, come on.
And then the hastily scribbled note is just a napkin with doodles on it.
Do the doodles look like anything Kit Kat has seen?
No, it's like little stick figures, and the napkin's gotten wet at some point, so the ink is blurred.
I love that.
But nothing like any of the images on the wheels that we saw.
Nope.
Okay, so we know that all 3 wheels are the same to unlock, or were at least when this memo was written. We just need to figure out what they are.
Does anyone know what
Okay.
a Shadowforged is?
It's Warforged, but shadow, I
That
think.
sounds kind of bad. I mean, usually things with shadow are not, not good.
Unless it's Peter Pan's shadow, but we don't talk about him.
Still not good.
Okay, that ends my turn.
So the raptor is not immediately. It's holding its action. Everybody roll a perception check.
Perception
Except
check.
for Brighton, because Brighton is occupied. And Blue, because Blue is occupied.
Oh!
Alright, Aleran and Izzy, you realize that a sentry drone, another sentry drone, has come up down the hallway and is just beyond, like about 25, 30 feet away from where Izzy is standing in the doorway. And if it moves any closer, it might target.
Aleran turns to the others and says, "We've got company."
Uh-oh.
Drone incoming.
Pants, what else are you doing?
Well, I will continue to. Are these books and such on the north side of the chair? Are they actually there, or is that just?
Yeah, there are books.
Okay.
Strewn on the floor.
Taking a safe distance. 1, 2, 3 behind the chair, but not on the corpse. 4, keeping a safe distance from unhappy steel raptor, and kind of take a peek at these what these books are.
There's actually 4 books. One is just this academic treatise that just is really dry and dull. And then you also see there's one book labeled The Fall of the Dakani Empire. Another is called Myths of Old Zendrick. And then another is called Tales of the Undying Court.
Paco would be interested in the fall of the Dakani Empire, but yeah, none of those look very interesting at this point. So, hold on, double check here. Count 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna use my last 5 feet of movement to back up against this cabinet-like thing against the wall. And
It seems to be a filing cabinet. Like you're standing right next to one of the cabinets that is open, and inside you see there are papers and files inside.
Okay, and that's. I'm just going to keep an eye on Steel Raptor in case he decides to turn around and think I'm lunch. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. At this point, the sentry drone has moved that last 5 feet, and it has latched onto Izzy's presence. And a little red beam of light comes out, and kaboom, it's targeting Izzy. And now it's the Iron Eagle's turn.
I would think that it's going to. I think the Iron Eagle would just try to get away from it, or because it's not really. It's an eagle. I mean, it could attack, but would it get scared by it, or?
Would it even consider the sentry drone a threat?
I know.
I mean, they kind of lived there for the last 4 years.
Exactly. I don't think it would react to it at all. It's just come and It's just normal.
And you don't know if it was by design or just coincidence that the drone did not target the pigeon or the eagle.
Exactly. So there, I would say that neither of them would react.
Okay, so the iron eagle and the pigeon forge just stay sitting on your shoulder. Well, you're standing there, but you're now kind of surrounded by a red light, as if by a fairy fire effect, because the sentry drone is highlighting your presence. And it's Nissa's turn.
I'm going to hold my action for the moment.
Now it's Brighton's turn.
More clicks, more screeching, more damage.
Okay. Roll an animal handling with +2. And that was a success. So you have managed to raptor whisper another raptor. So you're not completely out of initiative order yet, because we've got the sentry drone that is focused on Izzy. But the raptor is no longer an immediate threat.
And I shall name him Delta.
Delta?
Yep.
Okay, Izzy. You have a red light focused on you.
Well, the door wasn't completely closed, so it has to be peeking around the door. I didn't leave it completely open. Hey guys, we got something's attention. I'm all red. Should I move?
You're fine.
I didn't come out this way.
I think it's like a dinosaur. If you move, it'll see you. Don't move.
I don't think that worked last time.
Then move.
I tried to duck behind the door and shut the door really quickly.
You shut the door, and it breaks the ray of light, so that you're no longer surrounded. You're no longer highlighted.
Well, that's a little bit better. We have more fun outside waiting for us, guys.
But yeah, you're all closed up in this room.
See, we could have had a squid hat to throw with them.
Squid hat versus 2 steel raptors.
No, the sentry drone.
No, that's what I'm saying. Would I'd rather have a squid hat or 2 steel raptors?
But we could have had a squid hat and 2 steel raptors. Just saying. And a pigeon and an eagle.
There's something to be said for bird brains.
So are we presently out of initiative?
Yeah, you're out of initiative order.
You're
closed up in the room.
I would like to put the corpse back in the chair.
Okay.
Ew.
Well, presently, it's in the way of investigating the filing cabinet.
Oh, all right. I see a point.
You can tell the body is still clothed. It's nearly skeletal within that fabric.
Do the clothes look fancy?
Yes, they're wearing the garb that. Well, everyone can do an Arcana check. Yeah, even pants.
Ha! Ha!
Pants and Brighton, for some reason, I'm not sure why. Pants, it makes sense because members of House Cannith, there were a few that favored the frothy
The frothy brothel?
Yeah, the bar that you worked in House Kundarak in Stormreach before it burnt down. There are a few members of House Cannith that kind of like to slum there. And you can recognize that what this person is wearing, what this body is wearing, is clothing that looks like kind of a House Cannith uniform / regalia.
All right.
It's not unusual for someone who is fairly high up or favored by that house to be wearing a garment such as this. It's indicative that they aren't just some simple wand slinger or mage right, that they have a little bit more authority.
Like perhaps maybe the head of human and Warforged,
A humanoid and
services.
Warforged resources.
Yeah. So I would make the assumption that that is, in fact, the owner of the office. Well, toss the desk.
Free for all on the desk.
You've already looked at all of the papers.
Well, man, like drawers. Open the drawers.
The
What we got? Rummaging.
the drawers are locked.
Uh-oh. The drawers are
Locked.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that's why the door to this office wasn't locked, because the desk is.
That would make sense. Okay, so now we
Could we force the drawers open?
You could do a strength check.
drink.
So Brighton and Pants, you bash, you kind of work the drawer.
I didn't roll.
Oh, you rolled an Arcana before. Okay, so yeah, Pants, you crash into the drawer, kind of bust the front of the drawer off of because you pulled so hard at the handle.
Oops.
And now it's just the sleeve of wood.
Well, was there anything interesting in it at least?
You find something that looks like a fastener for papers, kind of holding some papers together, made out of metal, and it's kind of bent into a round shape. You find a bunch of those.
Pass it to Kit Kat. Pass them to Kit Kat. You do papers good. Here, paper these.
And you find a can. And the can has the logo that you've seen before of a blink dog and is labeled Galanda Distillate Light.
More light beer.
But this can, unlike the previous one, is not empty.
Can I secretly sneak that into my pouch?
Do a stealth check. And everybody else, if anybody wants to do a perception check to see if you notice him.
Would that be stealth or sleight of hand?
Sure, do sleight of hand, stealth or sleight of hand, whichever is better for you in determining your fate.
Pants, what are you doing?
Yeah, Kit Kat totally spots you.
Like everyone in the world sees him totally, obviously trying to sneak nothing.
Show me what's in your hand.
Bear.
Open fingers.
He just kind of like an oversized child, just kind of slowly
Pants.
opens his hand, like he's holding it next to his chest, like it's still mine. It's still mine.
I can't see it, Pants. You know I'm short. Bring it down here.
Bring it down. Begrudgingly acquiesces.
Why were you trying to take this?
Because it looks good and it's shiny.
You know, that actually makes sense. But, you should have told me. Because then I would have wanted it. But it's yours.
Okay, thank you. Shove it back in the bag real fast.
Shove it back in your pants.
Yes, I shove it back in my sack. Yes. Oh, wow, there's an annoyed memo.
You didn't look at the annoyed memo before?
That's my annoying memo.
That's when we read out about Toby being annoying and transfer him.
Yep. And the since we're not in combat, the assorted collectible books I will shove into the collectibles bag for future use by whomever needs them in the party.
Wait, did you just grab all the books?
Sorry?
Did you just grab all those books?
Yeah. Shove them in the bag.
Gonna start up a library. Well, I guess if you ever do run into Paco again, he would like that Fall of the Dakani Empire book. Or maybe he wouldn't, because he's all about, guess
Bring the
who's back?
Draconian Empire back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of rubbing it in his face.
Might be a little bit depressing.
Might be a cautionary tale, though. What to avoid.
Yeah, that'd kind of be like, giving King Louis, the French Revolution.
So, Pants, as you were shoving these books away.
Product contains less than 1% dryad tears.
As you're shoving those books away, the one titled Tales of the Undying a square of paper flops out, kind of flutters out between the front cover, the dedication page.
So it does.
And the paper feels a little bit sticky on one side, but the glue apparently had dried out over time, and it lost its adherence to the book.
Pick it up and clear the throat that he does not need to clear, but apparently that's a thing that organic meat bags do before you begin a speech. No mention of a rumored lost ship. Is this a wild kobold chase? Think we should abandon search for Elven artifacts in favor of sponsoring an expedition to the Isle of Forgotten Dreams. Merrick's has a promising apprentice he's of a mind to send on Zendrick research mission. It will build good favor in that direction if we assist him. Signed, T.
Kit Kat claps for him because, that was a big thing for Pants.
That was a lot of words.
I know, Pants. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, a whole bunch of words. There are more drawers. There are file cabinets. You said you shoved the body, you moved the body off the floor.
Yeah, put the body back
into the chair where the raptor was.
Where the raptor was, and Kit Kat is currently standing.
Oh, so Kit Kat's standing on the dead body?
Yep.
No.
Do we want to check pockets, etc., to see if there's a key or anything that we might be able to use?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Loot the
corpse. He wants to loot the body.
Oh, yeah. When you search the body, you find a key in the pocket.
Okay, we take the key.
I wonder if it fits the drawer.
Probably.
What drawer?
Well, there's another drawer on the other side of the desk.
Can we try the key in the other drawer?
Yes.
And does it work?
Yes. It fits.
And what's inside?
Nothing.
Oh, that was just a letdown.
Actually, upon examining the can of Galanda distillate light, Pants will approach Izzy, who's hiding by the door, and quietly hand it over and say, "This doesn't do anything for my kind of people, but I'm letting you borrow this on the promise that you return the empty can because it's still shiny and I still want the can."
Oh, absolutely.
Does Pants recycle?
No, he just wants the can.
Okay.
The can's very shiny.
It's very shiny. So I threw it back in the
We
party
like shiny
inventory
things.
so you can snag it. Because it does something that you will like, and literally says has no effect on Warforged.
No way.
Oh.
I just got straight denied.
There's been a lot of disappointment in this department for Pants so far. So you've looked through the desk drawers, you've looked at the body, the filing cabinets are there, you haven't looked at those. You've looked at the raptors. The raptors are kind of doing that like toothy smile at Brighton. The door is still closed, like there hasn't been any movement that way.
Should we take a look at the filing cabinets?
I think that's probably a good idea.
Which one are you going to try to look at first? The one that's open?
That probably makes sense.
Okay, the third filing cabinet from the left seems to contain various schema being processed by House Cannith Patent Office. There are research topics from other facilities as well as personnel files. Perhaps notably, files for Theron de Cannith and Kylan Hayton de Cannith are absent. And I'm going to drag an item for filing cabinet number 3 into your party sheet. Theoretically, if you look at it, there are links for all of the files that are within that filing
Unable to
cabinet.
create window with data source. Which
Oh!
module are they? Well, no, which, before I do that, because I don't have a whole lot of modules loaded. Which module is it in?
Oh dear. Huh.
Yeah, because I had that happen the other day when we were playing. I didn't have one of the modules open and it gave an error. So it may be just in one of the modules that we don't have loaded.
What did you try
Yeah.
to open? The filing cabinet 3?
Yeah, the file cabinet 3 opened fine. The first link didn't, though.
Oh, interesting.
Neither did like the 5th one down, which is what I tried.
So
is
maybe
it
the
like
links
in-
only work for me and I have to share things individually. I was
not necessarily.
hoping that would not happen. It's
Well, like I
not
said,
something
not
I can share because it's actually this module. So it just doesn't work that way.
And yeah, I already have your cross campaign loaded.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in there. It would be in something else. Oh, I think I know what the problem is then, because it's a module that I created for this campaign as opposed to an outside one loaded. And maybe that's why it doesn't work. I will read off the topics. There are a lot of them though, which is annoying. And if you want to look at something or if you want to investigate it further, I can put that item into the party inventory.
The Pigeon Forged upgrade.
Yep.
That might be
Tap dance theta training sequence. Oh my God!
Oh wait,
Toby's
you can see the list of stuff.
We
I don't
can
have
see
to
the-
read
no,
it
we
off.
can see the list.
You can
Yeah, no,
see
we
the
can
list.
see the list. We just can't click the links.
So if you want to look at a specific link, I can drag it to the party inventory.
I desperately want to see Toby Ducan's personal file.
Yes.
Please, I want
And
that
the
one.
Pigeon Forged upgrade.
And a tap dance theta training sequence. That's a mouth.
Because of course we leap directly at not things that are important to the campaign, but
I'll just drag them over. They're all over, and you can like look at things at your leisure. Because that's what filing cabinets
Amidst
are like.
training programs for alchemy, maintenance, and defense protocols, this training course seems distinctly out of place. The programmer is listed as Jongle Smithy Cannith.
Employee citation number 1. This is a formal letter describing an incident involving a gelatinous cube being released into the department facilities upon the employee's failed attempt to enter his assigned work area. Toby Harcourt Cannith was formally reprimanded for gross incompetence.
Kind of like when my main character in DDO took a res inside a gelatinous cube.
Less
didn't go well.
effective.
Gregor's file
amalgam.
contains a collection of glowing performance reviews authored by Kyle-Ann Cannith. His function is listed as SF Technician. There is a record of injury due to gelatinous cube burns.
Amalgam's unit file. This file indicates scores of revisions on Amalgam using the memory retrofit device. Specific notes are made indicating the long-term effects of partial memory amendment, proving far less traumatic to Warforged units than a complete retrofit of identity or the designation schism seen within the Butchers of Bardun.
Employee citation number 2. This is a formal letter describing a failure to follow standard operating procedures by not performing a memory referent upon an Iron Mallard unit before implementing secondary training. Jongle Smithy Cannith was formally reprimanded for taking dangerous shortcuts in empirical procedure.
So a whole lot of information dump. So you see, like, there's various. This is basically a whole lot of personnel files and schemas for some different processes.
Oh.
And a few memos.
Pants just stumbled upon one called Adamantine Conversions. This
I found
document,
one about a pigeon.
this document outlines the alchemical process for applying or replacing unit armor reinforcement with adamantine plating. This plating increases the weight of the overall unit by 40 pounds. When adamantine plated units are critically hit, it is treated like a normal hit. Requires stuff.
It does. It requires stuff.
Yeah, he will definitely take that piece of paper and shove that one in his pack. We're going to talk to our quartermaster about that one. Holla.
There's a record of a Warforged unit that suddenly displayed innate abilities to heal humanoids and repair Warforged after dozens of years in service as a Brailish scout.
Okay, war pigeon.
Oh, gotta read that one. Where is it?
The pigeon forged upgrade. It turns it into a war pigeon.
Requires Eldritch Forge, refined Cannith crystal, 4 power, 1 unit adamantine ore, 1 purified Eberron dragon shard, 1 Kyber dragon shard, 1 dragon's eye.
It's the stuff.
Stuff.
Do we have room
Intriguing.
in the bag of holding to put all this stuff in it, and we can so that we can come back to it as we have time or as we have need?
And it's kind of, it's a filing cabinet. It's been here for years. It's not going anywhere. So
But we are.
yeah, but if you can make a note of things, you know, a general idea of like, oh, I might want to look at that later. This may be relevant later.
How big is the plans? Like if we were just to take, say, one that turns your pigeon into a war pigeon and like slide it into your backpack.
The schema, they're like these kind of card, these punched card kind of things. And they have writing printed on them so that you can read some general instructions and the ingredients required and the time that it takes to perform the procedure. But this also has some indentations, like it's somehow used in some other way. It's like kind of like a punched raised areas, so it's not a smooth card, and you're not quite sure what that's for, but they're almost like 5x7 cards.
Hey, Pants, you may want the adhesive implement schema as well.
The adhesive? I saw the incendiary one that I definitely do not want, because I don't want to explode when I reach 0 hit points.
You don't? That sounds fun.
Be going out with a bang.
But
Literally. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, we'll steal that adhesive implement one too.
There's a mithril conversion one as well.
Nissa's just
Mithril-
gonna have a seat in the chair, put her feet up on the desk, maybe
Like
take a
shove-
nap.
Is the dead
Shove the
body?
dead body out of the way.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
is it the tinier chairs?
There are the tinier, the chairs opposite the desk are empty. There are no dead bodies in them. Unless in
Good.
while everybody else has been talking, Brighton has lured the raptors, and the raptors are sitting there now. But they were empty.
Yes, the empty chairs.
Also, the oil of repair bioalchemy diagram might be interesting.
Oh, that's a good one.
The rest, I think we can come back for, like all the memos and stuff like that. We kind of remember them. That's fine. But if we don't get a chance to come back here, I want to have the pigeon forged in my bag.
You can. It's in the party inventory. You can just drag it into your.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I think that's pretty darn cool. Even
Okay. Since
There-
we finished. Oh, go ahead.
So that's filing cabinet number 3, the one that was already open. There are 3 other filing cabinets. They're all locked.
Will the key unlock them? Or does the key unlock them?
You're trying the key on one of them. Which one do you try to open?
Let's try with number 1.
So the key does work, and when you unlock it, you find files for all of the creatures that were in the Manufactury. And you notice there are a couple things in there that you don't necessarily associate with something that you had encountered in that room. The things that are abnormal, a file called chitinous infiltration. There is a file called miscellaneous vertebrates. And there's a file called Warforged Peacock. The Warforged Peacock just says that it has limited potential for combat use. And someone speculating that nobles seem to spend ample gold pieces on tiny dogs and winged felines. So there's authorization to move forward research to Sharn for evaluation of Warforged Peacocks as a marketable vanity pet. The miscellaneous vertebrates file says the file refers to a project involving spiny fish discontinued due to a theoretical lack of land motility, and a cartilaginous project was transferred to the Lakeside R&D department. The chitinous infiltration file says, well, the topmost document in this file is a letter marked classified on House Cannith letterhead, written by Baron Starren de Cannith to Theron de Cannith, dated YK992. And it says, any projects involving insectoid prototypes are to cease immediately. Incinerate all relevant units.
Aww.
Those responsible for the utter failure of the Blatodea infiltration scheme have been dealt with accordingly.
What? There's a scheme.
Any theoretical solutions for dealing with these six-legged nuisances should be forwarded to the Home Office. The spy network reports House Fearlin's dismay that a civilization of cockroaches worshipping a demon of the dragon below seems to have invaded their enclave in Whitehearth. The only advantage I see as these units continue to evade captivity is Cannith's plausible deniability if the creatures spread beyond Sire.
Interesting.
That's something I never want to contemplate again. Demon worshipping cockroaches.
I am going to draw that.
And do an Arcana check. Or anyone who would like to do an Arcana check.
Okay.
Why not? As expected.
These rolls are all par for the course.
Okay, come on. We got the bard and the almost wizard. Come save us.
All right, Kit Kat, being a bard and
You're
knowing
welcome.
things, recognizes that Whitehearth, and she knows that Whitehearth is also sometimes called the City of Making. It was in Sire before the Day of Mourning, and it has since been destroyed.
Oh my gosh. Rip.
By demon worshipping cockroaches.
Cockroaches.
Well, there was the Day of Mourning destroyed so much, and that was one of the places that was near the epicenter of
Of
whatever.
So the
Cockroaches?
demon worshipping cockroaches are probably all that survived.
Exactly.
They
Oh,
Somebody
God.
burned down the
repurposed-
city to get rid of the cockroaches.
They repurposed the temples and all the buildings to give thanks to this demon.
So this is I see this as a precursor to reality, as the only thing that's going to survive the nuclear apocalypse is demon worshipping cockroaches.
And then the very last file that doesn't seem to have anything to do with a creature that you encountered is labeled Web-Forged file. And notes attached to this file include an authorization to forward research to Whitehearth, to their R&D department for evaluation of Web-Forged as a marketable security unit. There's a suggestion investigating compatibility with the incendiary docent. The diagrams in this file outline creation of a spider-like construct and make reference to an adhesive implement schema and an adhesive memo patent. Otherwise, everything, there are files here that maybe have information about... Oh, there's one other file that I overlooked. But most of them are things like there's a file for the Cephalopod Defender, there's one for the Pigeon Forged, there's one for the Iron Eagle, there's one for the Iron Mallard, there's one for the Raptors. The other one that doesn't immediately make sense to you is labeled Foul Forged. The file reads, unit has proved unwieldy and prone to imprinting upon a single handler. Halt development in favor of greensmithy projects. The attached schema in this file diagrams plans for a silky chicken construct.
Oh, what?
Are there any chickens? Wait, no, sorry, not chickens. Are there any feathery bok demons present in the room?
You look around, you don't see any in this room. The door's closed.
Okay.
You're not sure about the raptors. They could be bok demons, I suppose, to pants.
Large bok demons, yeah. They're not feathery, though.
I mean, dinosaurs are related to chickens.
And the diagrams in the Foul Forged file kind of have these blueprints that look like feathery bok demons you've seen before, pants. And it's a strangely, like, it's much more realistic than some of the other creatures that are diagrammed in these files.
I see. All right. Was that the final filing cabinet, or is there another?
There
more?
There are 2 more filing cabinets.
Good gravy. All right, let's get to cracking.
All right, so we unlock number 2.
Number 2 has a lot less files. And the paperwork in this filing cabinet contains material related to a location referred to as the Greensmithy. Among the available topics include several botanical journals talking about alchemical farming techniques. It includes a schema for a hydroponic pod device, an alchemical formula for a proprietary fertilizer concentrate, and a series of charts detailing growth rates and yields of berries, tubers, and greens.
Isn't this kind of exactly what Lars sent us here for?
Well, he's certainly interested in things along this line because he would like to grow things alchemically for Korthos. At least that's what his plan is.
At least that's what he claimed.
There's also a file for constructed bronzewood. These reports document the Greensmithy's efforts to fabricate artificial trees capable of replacing rarer types of wood, especially imports from Tairnadal. The most successful of these experiments seems to be a constructed bronzewood tree. The team synthesized the equivalent of a 200-year-old bronzewood within 2 years.
Does it have any information about where this location actually is?
No. There are 2 more files. They both seem to deal with fruit trees. One is called a perceptive plum tree, and the other is called a razor apple tree. It says the razor apple tree, the fruit of this experimental tree was conceived as a siege-breaking or sabotage tool, but the deployment timer proved too sticky for reliable results.
We're gonna invade this place. Let's plant a tree over there and let it grow.
And the perceptive plum tree documents an experimental fruit tree that would not only be edible, but would also conceal a miniature surveillance drone called a metallic mariposa within its pit. Unfortunately, initial trials of the fruit proved poisonous.
They were into some funky stuff in here.
So that's basically what's in that filing cabinet, because the alchemical farming techniques are just like vast loads of paper and reports and spreadsheets about watering and relative sizes of fruit, pH levels, and just all kinds of numbers regarding the evaluation of the produce that they were growing.
Should we take those back to Lars?
I will drag that to the inventory just in case. The last filing cabinet contains a large number of files, but what you can tell is the majority of the papers have been redacted to the point of gibberish. You do see there are some references within the paperwork to an area called Shadow Forge number 4. And amongst all of the papers, there are 3 documents that are legible. One is a control device schema. It seems to be a handheld unit that has an on and off button, and that's about it. You can't tell from the paperwork exactly what this is used for. You also find a memo from Merix de Cannith, and you can do an Arcana check to see if you know who that is. But what the memo says is this short letter is dated for Dravago 993 YK. Pants, you know that Merix de Cannith is one of the 3-headed Gorgon. There are 3 members of House Cannith that are considered kind of the de facto leaders right now, because Starin de Cannith, the previous Gorgon, died without naming an heir.
Okay.
Dummy.
And this notice to Kylan, it starts, Kylan, your reports of aberrations in your incorporeal construction tests give me concern. My team has observed nothing so malformed in our results at Shadowforge 2. However, what does strike me as familiar is your description of strange voices being heard by your team. I ordered a full retrofit of my Warforged assistant Pattern just last week because I thought he was malfunctioning. 'Twould be a shame that I caused my schedule such a setback for naught. We'll keep your words in mind. I'm not convinced this talk isn't just the byproduct of long, isolated work hours in an environment that, at times, deprives our senses of normal input. On the next occasion, try a walk out in the sunshine and fresh island air, eh? And it's signed Merix. Oh, the other thing you remember about Merix is the area. Each of the leaders of House Cannith, they tend to kind of cover different regions of Eberron, and he does a lot of stuff out of Sharn. And then the last thing that isn't completely redacted is a response from Kylan de Cannith, written to Merix. And this brief document appears to be the illusory script copy of the original letter. And it says, Dear Merix, have you considered that the entity you caged between the Shadow Forges is neither demonic nor from Kyber? You take great credit in your inventions, but a creation forge unconnected to the Cage of 4 has proven incapable of constructing sentient life. No one in House Cannith appears interested in asking why. The sites at White Hearth and Lakeside have observed anomalies as well as Korthos. Perhaps you've spent so much time in the sunshine to clear your head, you are now blinded as to what is happening in the dark. We need to identify the source of this power. And then it's signed Kylan. I'll drag those things, those 2 memos, into the party inventory. And that is everything that's in the filing cabinets. Unless you want to look at something specific for one of those Manufactury creatures.
The only thing would be anything on the pigeon and the eagle. And the raptor.
Yep, raptor info good.
Also, the Brothers of Mercy file that's in filing cabinet number 3.
I grabbed it.
Oh, you already grabbed it. Okay, good
Yeah.
deal.
The Pigeon Forged file, it just basically says potentially a viable competitor to Orion's mail system. Research increased defensive capabilities to ensure long-distance travel. And the attached schema in the file diagrams the plans for the pigeon construct and references to a plan for a war pigeon upgrade. So you've gotten the schema. It's just making references to that schema that you've already looted. And since you can see what the pigeon can do, I think, because I think I dragged it to you.
The pigeon, let me see if I can open him.
If you click on him on the map, he should open. If not, I can drag him to you again.
Yeah, he opened.
Okay. One of the things you see on him is he is a homing pigeon. And Pigeon Forge can be used for sending messages up to 1,000 miles between positions set in advance.
That's a pretty cool set.
So it may take a while, but it's an alternate to using the House Civis messaging stations. And you have to kind of like set the 2 points for locations that the pigeon travels between.
And were there
eagle
any? Yeah.
It just says authorization to transfer research to Sharn's Research and Development Department for final testing. Potential for sale as a combat scout is promising. Do another Arcana check. Nissha would have advantage.
Is this for everyone, or?
Actually, Izzy would have advantage too, but she rolled high enough anyhow. You know, Izzy, you have seen Iron Eagles in use during the last war. That this was something that there weren't that many of them, but it is something that was used for scouting out in the field in the last few years of the last war. So apparently this did get forwarded. The papers for the Iron Eagle did get forwarded to another location before this Cannith Manufactury was closed down, and it moved ahead to actually being put into open production.
Okie doke.
Steel Raptor, it basically says all tests prove deadly. Item for next Manufactury breakout meeting. We need theories as to the source of the Raptor Forge's innate aggression. And there's a little scribbled note that says, could this be related to K's unpredictable results in the SF? Contamination? With what? And then there's an attached schema in this file kind of illustrating the Raptor construct. And I'll drag the Steel Raptor one to the inventory. And then you said something about, you've already grabbed the Brothers of Mercy stuff.
Right.
Can you, you can't open any of the subfiles though, can you?
No, it just lists what. Yeah, can't.
I'll just put those in. The super full inventory. So the first thing is an advisory bulletin. This bulletin is dated 17 Thorindor 993 YK and is signed by Star into Cannith with a Gorgon seal. It says, based upon the investigation of the events leading up to the butchery at Brighton and debriefing of the units in question, we have strong evidence the abnormal handling and training practices of these units contributed to their dire malfunction in this isolated case. By House decree, all repurposed forged units must have a mandatory full memory retrofit before implementing a new purpose and training. Furthermore, no training contractors outside of certified House Cannith artificers and guilds are to be used in the preparation of any unit, regardless of the customer's demand for customization.
That doesn't sound ominous.
And then there's a letter from Tovin to Cannith. It says, Dear Theron, I am writing to tell you the unofficial gossip regarding the BOM cock-up. Seeing as how the only news that reaches that flame-forsaken island you've been banished to must be fit only for seagulls. Word is, those units were repossessed for non-payment from a sausage plant in Sharn that went bankrupt due to contaminated meat. That's right, the butchers started out service as literal butchers. Nala Overn has been excoriated from the house for her part in matters. A huge scandal for the family. Honestly, she deserves it. It's one thing to skip a retrofit when you transfer a Warforged between the warehouse and furnace duty in the Manufactury. But on a pricey diplomatic contract for sire? Buffoonery! What's more, turns out a Warforged envoy unit in service, where the BOM units were trained, had been infected with that Lord of Blades fairy tale nonsense. I assume it has been furnace with the lot of them. Speaking of disposal, I heard a rumor the unspoken lot is being shipped your way for decommission. I have a personal project that could use some undocumented test subjects. I would be happy to take these unmentionables off your hands. And it's signed your brother Tovin.
So we were basically pretty convinced they were doing some shady stuff in here.
Now we know for sure.
There's a letter from Starin to Cannith to Theron. It says, Theron, as you are now aware, 2 of the cleansed butcher units have not reached their intended destinations. I do not place the blame at your feet, as your documentation verifying the unit's departure from Korthos and the shipping paperwork up until Stormreach is pristine. I want you to undertake an investigation as to whether the source of the mishandling was the Stormreach Enclave or agents outside the house. That elf captain is still suspect, considering his ties. I trust you will reach the bottom of this matter and locate our rogue property. And it's signed Starin.
Do we know any elf captains? Like that one named Rainier? Is he a captain?
He's retired.
But was he a captain?
He was a captain of the Sovereign. No, wait, the Sojourn. Up until after the liberation of Korthos. The third letter is from Theron to Cannith. The following appears to be a copy of the original communication. It has been marked CC Starin to Cannith. Or that should actually be BCC. Tovin. I'm afraid the rumor mill regarding the unspoken lot is off track. Why would they be assigned to me for disposal? Korthos Manufactury is responsible for little more than wands and iron dogs. Surely that matter is being handled in Metrol or Whitehearth by those higher in the echelon than ourselves, considering the infamous legacy of the Warforged in question. It is not a rumor I would circulate, certainly, considering dear Starin has no patience for any talk that propagates the memory of this business. Be careful who you gossip to. Your brother, Theron. And I guess if it's not absolutely clear, he replied to Tovin, but he also sent another copy blindly to Starin about this, tattling, I guess.
He played the CC game long before email started.
The old school Cannith CC game.
As long as it wasn't reply all.
It was not a reply all, thank goodness. That would have been embarrassing. And then there's dozens of retrofit orders are filed here, dated between the months of Zarantar and Nim 993 YK, signed off by Theron to Cannith. The IDs of the subject units have been redacted.
Wait a minute. But this place closed in NIM 993YK. That was the date of the last security password.
Well, they were certainly doing this up until the time of the incident. But the units, the subject unit IDs have been redacted, so it's not clear exactly who it applies to. You do know that, like, Amalgam has already said that he was retrofitted in the empty machine multiple times. And the last thing is transport orders. This file contains 6 transport orders dated 27 Dravago, 993 YK, relocating Warforged units to Stormreach, Sharn, White Hearth, New Throne, Undare, and Lakeside for study by the local Cannith enclave.
On the vessel called the Sojourn, listed a captain listed as Renard de Thorani.
Yeah, for study by the local Cannith enclaves. The mode of transportation was to be a vessel named the Sojourn, and the vessel captain was listed as Renard de Thorani. So that is everything. All of the lore dump that you would possibly even not want in one filing cabinet.
That was unlocked, which means we're gonna die on our way out. Oh wait,
Well,
no, they were locked.
3 of them were locked. One of them was apparently open, like the head of humanoid and Warforged resources was actually looking at it when whatever happened killed her.
Since we have the keys, I'm going to go ahead and relock the cabinets since we have what we want, but so that way no one else gets in here if we need to come back.
Okay.
Art.
Can we? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
I was gonna say, can we take a look at the corpse and see maybe what killed it? There's not a whole lot of flesh left, I guess, huh?
Yes, it's pretty much desiccated, almost skeletal.
But looking at the clothing and stuff,
The clothing is not torn in any obvious way that would, like, say, suggest that she was clawed to death by a raptor or something like that. There's no signs of mauling to the clothes.
Is there blood stains on the clothing?
No, there isn't.
That's ominous.
Or any staining or anything on the floor where the corpse had been laying?
No.
So there's no, like, pathology that,
I'm thinking I wouldn't drink that beer.
I'm more or
Yeah,
less
when
looking
you
up
look at the skeleton,
vents.
you can't tell that there are broken bones. It's almost like whatever killed this person just made them drop dead.
Oh, that's not ominous because that could be airborne.
That's what I was just saying. I'm looking up for vents.
Oh, there are vents. There's been vents throughout the facility because the air has to be pumped in from somewhere.
Let's carry on exploring.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah!
So the door is still closed.
Yeah, there was a one of those drone things outside. It had me lit up like a Christmas tree.
Maybe not have our healer open the door.
I vote for that.
Okay. Who wants to open the door?
I think Pants just volunteered.
Is that one of
Oh,
those?
am I not sleeping now?
Is that one of those take a step forward and everyone else takes a step back kind of things?
Yes, I drew the line and ran to the back of the room.
Okay. I will open the door. Brandishing my 4x4.
You open the door, and there's nothing there.
No, really, there was something there before it closed it.
Can I stick my head out the door and take a peek down the hall in both directions?
When you look down the hall to the east, you don't see anything because you're Warforged. For the distance that you can see, because you don't have dark vision.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a dark
don't see
thing,
anything.
not a racist thing. Okay.
Right.
Aleran's going to put on his night vision goggles that he found previously.
Aleran, you can't see anything either because your night vision goggles can only see. You can see like 30 feet, but in the 30 feet you can see, you don't see anything.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't
left
think
or right?
Cat can see anything.
And even Nissha comes out, looks down the hallway to the east. Don't see anything either. The hallway right now looks empty.
Knock on wood.
I hold up my 4x4 so she can do it.
I'm kind
All
of
right, I
feeling.
guess-
I'm trying to like come up with to try a map again.
I guess we keep marching off to the north.
But there's the north pathway, and then there's the eastern hallway.
Well, we were going north to begin with. Let's keep on.
Continue north.
Stompy, stompy, stomp.
If you go down the north hallway, you reach another door, and the plaque next to it says break room.
I like breaking things.
Where we get
Not
our
that
bonus.
time of
All right, I guess we're going in.
Maybe they got a vending machine.
Ooh, maybe they have more of those cans.
Ooh.
Yeah, Spider-Man has Into the Spider-Verse. We have Into the Break Room.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's equally, treacherous. If
Well,
you've
yeah, I
ever
mean,
worked in an office environment, maybe somebody's microwaving fish.
or popcorn. Maybe they burn
no.
popcorn.
Or bell
No.
peppers.
Not microwaving fish.
Or
Or it's not like the kid on my bus who suddenly just takes out like fish on the bus in the afternoon.
or burn popcorn in one of the hallways that's considered a fire exit.
Does this
And have to have-
replacement map work?
And it's still loading.
It's loading. It's big.
It is, but it's big like the one before. I'm like, is it a size problem?
No, it loaded for me. It is
loaded.
big.
Yep, I got it.
I got it.
Okay, groovy. Well, at least we have like a common visual.
Ooh, and there's a shrine.
Shrine!
Yeah, you go into this room, and you see that, yes, there is a shrine. There's tables and chairs. There's a couple cots. There's a sink. One crate.
And a Cobalt Admiral's tiller on the table.
And it seems like this is a place that the staff of the Research and Development Department visited when they needed to either heal up from feeding the steel raptors, or when Toby creates incidents with gelatinous cubes, or whether they were just having long weekends of taking tomato data in the greensmithy, and they just wanted to camp down here overnight.
Are we going to be using the R&D Main Halls 2 map now?
Yes, since it actually works.
Okay.
I'm moving you over to this map from incident reporting.
Woohoo!
Yay! About this time, Zaleria has, come down the hall finally with Bambershoot. She notices that there are 2 raptors now, and she's like, cool. The raptors are making a game of jumping up and down on the beds.
2 little raptors jumping on a bed. Please don't fall off and bump your heads.
I want to take a look at the crate that you mentioned is in the room. Is there any writing or markings on the outside of the crate?
No, and the crate, it's kind of a crate, but like it has this, it looks like a door almost that swings open on the front rather than having a normal lid like you would expect.
So it's like more like, say, a
like a
Iron
dog
Defender dog carrier? Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
And when you open the crate, you see several bottles and a few cans. And within here, there are 2 more of those Galanda Distillate Light bottles. I mean, cans.
It's a mini fridge.
Yeah, I was just saying, are they cold?
They are. They're slightly chilled. There is an oil of repair, and all these little bottles have nice little labels on them. And one of them has a sticker on it that says, "Toby, do not drink."
Would that be the unidentified oily substance?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. Oh, is that unidentified?
Yeah, it's got the unidentified tab on it.
Well, it is an oil of repair. I forgot that was unidentified. Surprise! But you recognize that there's also potions of greater healing and healing here. They match the ones that you purchased in appearance at the quartermaster earlier. And the Galanda Distillate Light is, of course, boldly labeled. And that's what has the little note on it that Toby's not supposed to drink, whoever it actually belongs to.
I will carefully glance around my party and make one final check that not a Warforged, 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 and then gleefully take the oil of repair.
And it's like this kind of dark charcoal gray, but luminescent substance in that bottle. Like it's got the sparkles that a potion of healing has, but it's also looks kind of greasy.
I guess the question is who needs the healing potions? I think I have a couple, so I will let others help themselves first.
I have 2 potions of greater healing that I will actually throw into the pit to be redistributed, since they will do better on actual fleshies, and I didn't know I was buying the last 2 when I bought them.
Everybody do a perception check. I guess I should ask you, did you leave the door to the break room open?
No.
No, I think
Okay.
we learned our lesson.
But,
from
but
the
still do a perception check. And you notice that when you close the door, that the klaxon from the Dungeon Alert Red is a little bit fainter now.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
I
in the
know.
quiet
It's
room.
nothing.
Izzy, no one else notices, but you pick out that there seems to be a slight indentation in the north wall.
I go and take a little bit of a peek, like get a little closer to see if it's like a door or an alcove.
You run your hands along the wall. It's like a kind of mortar and stone in appearance, but you're picking out that there seems to be kind of places where it's fit together and that it's actually movable and that there's a secret door here.
Hey guys, I found a secret door over here. Does someone else want to open it first?
No, you go for it.
I'll open it first, I guess.
Well, maybe we should get these
Backup.
healing items distributed before we open a
Fine.
secret door into...
Let the
Good point.
Warforged carrying a big stick of wood be the voice of reason.
Says the cleric.
And if there's some kind of lever or something that opens it up, we could all stand back and I could use a mage hand to open the door.
I think
it's a pressure system, and the mage hand cannot apply enough pressure to open the door.
I
Okay.
would say putting the healing potions into everybody else's pockets rather than the cleric's might be a good idea in case the cleric goes down.
That's more what I'm thinking. And I'm assuming there's 2 potions of greater healing, one potion of greater healing that I put in there. 2 regular potions of healing. I'm assuming the unnamed potion was the greater one that was already in the fridge. Because you said there was one greater healing in the fridge?
There was 1 greater and 2 normal.
Yeah, and I threw my 2 greater ones that I bought into the party inventory. So we have 2
Well-
greaters and 2 regulars to distribute.
I grabbed a grater, so I will. I've taken like my share, I guess.
And there's also like the rest shrine here. But you guys noticed that before.
Which, considering that there is someone here who has to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to school.
Yeah.
So are you pushing through? Are you going to go through the secret door?
Says the cleric, who took her voice of reason.
Why doesn't everybody stand back and I will open the door? That way, if this is trap or something, I'm the only one who gets blasted, rather than lose everyone.
Okay. You push on the panel. The door swings open. And you find an alcove. The room seems to be dominated with a pool where a giantish totem is in the center of it. The water is murky gray and nearly opaque.
So are we just leaving these potions?
And you can do an arcana check.
Can you just... Well, Tessa, did you grab a potion?
About to.
Okay, go ahead.
Do Nissha or Brighton want one?
No.
I'll grab the regulars.
Okay. So, Aleran, you don't recognize anything about this room.
I don't know. No, there wouldn't be any reason for him to know anything anyway. Redact that.
Yeah,
Arcana.
I feel almost weird of saying this because you did roll high enough to know something.
That's what. No, but there'd be no reason for him to know the random content.
Anyone else want to roll?
I will.
Okay, Kit Kat recognizes that the totem
Pants go higher than me.
the totem is giantish, and she knows that these shrines were used and sometimes still used in resurrection rituals.
Ooh.
And they can be found throughout Zindrick. She's not sure about the pool, though. Like, usually they're just found out in the countryside or in strange places. She's never seen or heard of one being in a pool before.
Okay.
I'm guessing the body in the office is too far gone.
We're too far away from its soul stone.
Oh, jeez.
The door was closed.
I'm sorry. You
Poor
can't.
thing
use that
kept
action
running
at
and
that
running
time.
towards the res shrine and just couldn't quite reach it. Its hand would reach out for the little glowy and then
It's
be
'cause-
snapped
It's
back.
because
I'm
there were
sorry,
doors
you're unable to
blocking
use that
them.
action at this time, for you are dead.
I don't know. I mean, if it's a resurrection thing, I don't know if that's probably prudent.
Have you guys seen Pet Cemetery?
I don't wanna.
Izzy knows, being a cleric, she knows that there are usually time limits on how effective raised dead or resurrections things are.
And I would think that it would be past.
Yeah, in most cases it would be long past.
We don't want to raise the lich, guys. It's never good.
In most cases, 4 years would be like much too long for a simple resurrection to
It would be
work.
probably a greater.
Like by that time, the soul has moved on to Dolor, and there's just no bringing it back.
Plus, do we really want to bring an HR rep from a creepy, totally, shady research facility back to life? Like,
Ooh, yeah. He raises an extremely good point for a Warforged.
Pants suffers 1 point of psychic damage.
So this is the break room. If you go over to the sinks and turn them on, there's running water.
Is it like watercolored, or is it like murky, brown, red, icky, gross?
This water looks
Funk.
watercolored. It's watercolored, and it doesn't look like that alchemical fluid that was in the aquariums and the paddling pool of the Manufactury either.
Good to know.
So you're in the break room. I think that's where we'll end it for tonight. With you guys just breaking in the break room.
I mean, I guess we
Long
can.
rest?
Well, I was gonna say a short rest, but we're safe. We got the door bolted.
Yeah,
We
the
got
door's
water.
closed. I mean, as far as you can tell, that this seems like it's a secure place.
I'm down with the
Those
long
sentry
rest.
drones in the hallway, they've shown, like previously when you were in patents and incident reporting, once the door was closed, they showed no sign of trying to enter. Apparently
Yeah, because
they
once
moved
I
on.
once I shut that door, that it stopped getting interested in me.
It broke the sentry focus, and they did not wait outside that door apparently, or something happened so that they weren't there when you reopened it. It seems like it's safe enough for resting in this room. So you could try for a short or a long rest.
Since we're breaking for the evening, we might as well go for a long rest so that we're starting with a clean slate next time.
So, can
Dibs on the bed.
I was about to say, can I drag the bed in front of the door that was leading into the hallway we entered the break room in case someone comes knocking?
Sure, I mean, if you want to rearrange the beds, the only thing that's not movable in this room is the rest shrine.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna suddenly use brute force and rip it out of the ground.
And I guess the sinks would be hard to move as well.
We have a Warforged.
I'm going to use my second wind before I take my rest to heal the hit points that I'm missing.
Well, the long rest will heal all your hit points if you take a long rest. If you
Okay.
do a short rest, you also get healing from the rest shrine being in the room if you spend any of your hit dice.
I mean, I'm okay with the long rest if everyone else is.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
So long rest?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we'll end with a long rest. Everybody has had their hit points and their abilities and whatnot restored. And that's what we'll wrap up for tonight with all of the information and stuff. And all the raptors. It was very combat light because Brighton tamed everything.
Yay!
Go Brighton.
Cool. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. That was fun.
Thank you, Bonnie. It was
you.
fun.
Lots of
Thank
fun.
Good night.
You guys have
Thanks,
so
everyone.
many pets now.
I know. It's
I want a peacock.
Do we only have 2 spellcasters? No, we have a bard.
Hi.
yes.
Hi. You might want to take that other Galanda distillate that's still in the fridge.
Ah,
And does
Where
Aleran
is
count as a spellcaster because he's an Eldritch Knight?
Yes, he does. And he took one.
I took it. No, I didn't.
Aleran might have had it. You haven't run out of spell points, honey, so you're good.
But I want it.
Well, no, I mean, she doesn't have to drink it
Oh,
now. I'm just saying take it to
I was dragging it in the wrong place. Whoopsies. I was trying to drag it into my ability scores.
It also restores 1 spell slot. So basically,
Yes!
you get 1 extra cast at some point. Thank you,
Like-
Tubbs, for pointing that out.
Yeah, like when we're on a boat, and it's hit the fan and everybody is tapped and there's still aberrations attacking us
You
and spider
can
crabs.
drink enchantment.
Yeah, and get spells back. That will totally change the game.
Totally.
Yeah, I think what the light drink is for 1 level 1 spell to restore.
Yes.
Hey, that's still 1 more cure wounds than we had.
Because we weren't there. I sorry.
Okay, good night.
Good night,
All right,
guys.
good
Thanks,
night,
everyone.
everybody.
Good
All right,
night.
bye-bye.
Good night.